This video is going to explain the similarity and differences between drawing to 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective. For demonstration purposes and the sake of ease to better understand the concept, I'm just going to limit myself to drawing cubes. So first things first, I kind of want to divide my paper in half so that we can have one side be 1 point and the left side will be 2 points. And that just means that 1 point has one vanishing point and 2 point has two vanishing points, and you're just using two vanishing points to line up your lines when you draw. So here's 1 point, and I'll put that as a 1, and then far off over here I'll put that as vanishing point number 2. And I folded the paper so that I could have one singular horizon line, because they both still share the horizon line. Now, the difference between the two is in how you start it. 1 point perspective, you start off with a flat shape, okay? Always a flat shape. And you take the corners to the vanishing point, like that. And then you cut your shapes off parallel to the lines that are pre-existing on your flat shape. So I'll just go that way. So just parallel lines. Okay, with 2-point perspective, you start off with a vertical line. Because we have two vanishing points, the angle of the perspective has now changed, where you're not looking at the front of your three-dimensional form. You're looking at it from the corner. And you just take the top and the bottom of this vertical line to both sides. See, the top and the bottom go to both vanishing points. So you're just using two vanishing points. And then we cut similarly to 1 point. You follow parallel to this central vertical line. So we're still using parallel lines. The only thing that has changed is the way our cubes are facing us. And so the bottom here gets tricky, because I want to cut the bottom here off. And some students get lost here and they get confused where to go. Because we know that in 1 point perspective, it's what they share, and what's similar between them is that if it's above, you see underneath it. Okay, so if it's above, you see underneath. We need that section there. So since this line is already going to the right vanishing point, I can't draw another line there, because all I'm doing is darkening the pre-existing line. And you can't go anywhere else, because that'll just look confusing. So the only other way I can go is to the left vanishing point. And over here on this side is vice versa. When we get to this step, I usually tell my students to crisscross applesauce, and that's what I mean. Since we're already going to that vanishing point, you can't go anymore, so you have to reverse and go to the other side. Okay, and that's how you get the bottom part here. And I'll just shade that in so you can see it better on camera. Okay, and the same thing happens when it's on the horizon line. You only see the side of the block or the three-dimensional form. You don't see above or below it because it's directly on the horizon line. That holds true for 2-point perspective drawing as well. So if our cube was in the center, you would not see above it or below it. The only thing that changed is that you're using two vanishing points because it's going in both directions. And you're seeing it from the corner view. So it's as if you were looking at a block and you just moved a couple of steps to one side, and you're seeing it from the corner view. And I'll just shade this side here so you can better see it. And what's important to understand is the concept. If you can try this and do this as well and be successful at it, then you've understood the concept, and you can get into building and drawing more complex blocks, or a block upon a block, and start stacking them or adding sections to them. And you can draw buildings with this kind of technique, or houses with this technique. Alright, and I'm going to do one on the bottom to make sure I cover what these three-dimensional forms look like above, on the horizon line, and below the horizon line. Okay, so again, start with a vertical line, take it to both sides, and then come through. Forgot to highlight that. Come through and cut parallel to your vertical line, and then crisscross. Can't go this way because I'm already going there, so I have to go the other way. And then this one, since I'm already going that way, I have to go back the other way. And that's how you get the top of the cube here. Over here, the same. Take the corners to the vanishing point, and then you cut, and that's how you get the top. Okay, so let's review. Two-point perspective uses two vanishing points. You see it from the corner angle. One-point perspective uses only one vanishing point, and you see it from the front and the sides. Okay, so this is not a corner view. It's looking at it from the front of the block. And it uses one vanishing point. But they still share similar traits. When they're above, you see underneath them. When they're on the horizon line, you only see the sides of them. And then when they're below the horizon line, you'll see the tops of the blocks. They both still deal with creating depth. As you get closer and closer to your vanishing point, objects appear to get smaller and have less detail, and they appear to be getting away from you to the point where they disappear, which is why it's called the vanishing point, where all things, disappear as they go that way. So let me get a 3D model. So this is a cube, three-dimensional cube. And so here, if I move the cube over, you can see the cube mimics the one-point perspective here. Now, if I go to the two-point perspective, the cube is no longer on the flat side. It's more at the corner like this. See that? See the cube? So you see this side and this side. See the lines here? The top and the bottom of the lines are going. This is going to the vanishing point on this side, and then this side is going to the vanishing point on the right. So this cube is to model the drawing here. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you for taking the time to view. I hope I led some insight into you better understanding the differences between one-point and two-point perspective, and the similarities as well.